spoke with Tom Collina, who's with Ploughshares Fund, which advocates for reducing nuclear weapons around the globe. My takeaway from talking to him is that he wasn't all that optimistic, and he had one particular worry. What do you think President Trump is aiming to do? What alliances is he looking to shore up or even strengthen while he's over there when it comes to North Korea?
Well, my hope is that what he's trying to do is really lay the basis for diplomacy, to kind of pivot away from the bombastic language and threats he's been using against North Korea and pivot to an effort to really try to bring the people he can work with together in the region towards a diplomatic solution. You know, talk with China, talk with South Korea, talk with Japan, and really try to figure out, how do we negotiate with the North to reduce, to constrain their nuclear weapons program.
Do you think China will be persuaded to actually take some harsher action?
Yes, it depends how far you mean by that. China will never go so far as to bring the downfall of North Korea. China has the power to do that because they hold all the economic keys to North Korea, but they have no interest in seeing North Korea collapse. So they're willing to work to put the pressure on North Korea, but because they're not willing to let North Korea collapse, their leverage is quite limited. But we know that sanctions are not going to win the day in the end, because we've seen the North Koreans literally starve their people in order to have enough money to pay for their nuclear program. This is not going to be won through sanctions. It needs to be won through negotiations and diplomacy.
Aside from Pyongyang launching a nuclear weapon, what's the worst case scenario?
I think the near-term worst thing that can happen is that President Trump launches some sort of preemptive action, that the Trump administration convinces itself that it cannot live with a nuclear weapons program in North Korea, and therefore tries to do something that it sells as a strategic strike or a limited strike, and tries to take out a missile on the launch pad or try to take out a weapons cache, that kind of thing. And that is perceived in North Korea as an all-out military attack. And North Korea responds to that with an all-out attack on Seoul in South Korea.
Do you think when the president and his team is around Asia, that they could possibly be sending some secret envoys to North Korea to at least meet?
I would be surprised if there are some real things happening right now. I hope there are. I haven't heard of them, and what I have heard is not reassuring. But again, I think that's what should happen. There should be unofficial and official channels opened up to begin those conversations.